Hi folks, John Cordisco here. Get a little bit of a preview coming up on the players in the upcoming U.S. Championship 2015, being played at the St. Louis Chess Club and Scholastic Center in St. Louis, of course. Great place. It's definitely on my bucket list of places to see and meet. Number one in the U.S. Open, my buddy, Carl Nakamura. If those of you that are wondering why the ratings are so high, they're not FIDE ratings, they are U.S. Chess Federation ratings. And it shows a little bit about a Carl there. You can stop the video if you want to read some of the things concerning a Carl. I'll just pause it here for a second and you can just go through and see anything about a Carl. Next is Wesley So. Wesley was originally with the Filipino Chess Federation, just recently changed the U.S. Federation, so he's the number 2 rated player in the United States, 21 years old. Wesley won the first millionaire chess open in Las Vegas. I happened to be there, even though I was a little critical of one of my videos. It still was a cool tournament. He won the $100,000. And I forgot to mention with Carl as well. I see on the website, millionairechess.com, that a Carl Nakamura has entered Millionaire Chess. Unfortunately for me, I can't go to it this year. It's the middle of October, second week in October. I'm running in a local election here in upstate New York for city council, so I won't be able to be in the elections in early November. But look out for that. Here's some information on Wesley. You can stop the video, of course, at any time to read some of the things concerning Wesley. Ray Robson. We all know Ray. He's been around a long time. 20 years old. It's funny, these guys are getting older. They used to be kids, and now they're young men. And he's, you know, it's funny. Ray gets in a lot of time trouble. Any of these guys, if they're on fire, if any of you guys like ice hockey, it's like having a hot goalie. If you have a hot goalie, you're almost invincible. So we'll see what happens here. But here's a little bit about Ray Robson. He's had a lot of good things happen in his career. I'll go through some of the things here a little bit. I didn't know Ray was born in Guam. I just saw that. Guam, for those of you outside the United States, is a possession of the U.S., so he is an American citizen. And that's a little bit about Ray. And, of course, Gata Kamsky. Probably, only so far of all the Americans that are still in top form, or top players, I should say, Gata's made it to the candidates final. If you all remember, a few years ago he played Topalov, and he came within a hair's breadth of beating Topalov and going into the World Championship. Gata's originally from Russia, has been in the U.S. for a very long time. You see some information on Gata there. I mean, his accomplishments in chess are endless. That's not counting the fact he's got a law and a medical degree. I mean, how sharp is this guy? Here's a little bit about Gata. 40 years old, still doing good for the old guys. Old guys rule. I'm 58, so here's a little bit about Gata. And here's Alex Onashuk, top player for ever and ever and ever. I believe he's a coach at a college. And you'll see some of the stuff about Alex. God, great player, great player. Quiet guy. He's one of those guys that doesn't make a lot of noise, doesn't give a lot of interviews, but he's still a top player. Whoops, a little bit there about Alex. Daniel Naroditsky. Boy, I'll tell you, it makes me feel old. 19 years old. I got clothes older than that. Anyway, Daniel's up and comer. I think he was the youngest chess player ever to publish a book. A little bit about Daniel. Lives in California. I'll go scroll through a little bit. You can always stop and pause and read about any of the players. And here's my other buddy from the U.S., Sammy Shanklin. I like Sammy a lot. I really do. Just something about this kid I like a lot. 23, he's still a kid to me. Whenever I saw Sammy at a couple tournaments, I remember when he was 18 or 19, he was pretty disgusted. And I think it was in Philadelphia. I'm not sure. He was going to quit, but luckily he didn't. Gold medal winner, playing on board 5. The off-board, so to speak, for the U.S. in the Olympiad. And I've got a bunch of games I got to put in my videos here for Sammy. A whole collection of basically a run where he didn't lose a game for, oh gosh, 30, 40 games. Anyway, folks, Sammy Shanklin, I like him a lot. He's a great guy, great player. A little bit about Sam, another California boy. Pause the video here to read any of that you want about these guys. Akobian, another great player. Another guy from California. What's with all the California boys? I'm upstate New York. What about some East Coast guys? Come on. I know Gotta lives in Brooklyn. For those of you outside the U.S., upstate New York isn't the same as New York City. It's kind of like Northern California is to L.A. It's not even close to the same. But anyway, there's a little bit about Akobian. There we go. Originally from Armenia. Some of the stuff. Kobian's been around a long time. Great player. And Timur Garev. You know, it's funny. I saw him at Millionaire Chess in October 2014. And I didn't know he lived in Las Vegas. So he's an exciting player. He reminds me of Joe Bava, the way he plays. He's just wild, wild, wild. He's a really interesting character, I gotta tell you. Very interesting character. Here's a little bit about Timur. About how he learned to play and some of the information concerning him. Really, really cool guy. Now I feel really old now. Caden Trough, 16 years old. Holy crow, my daughter's 32. My daughter's twice as old as this guy. How old do you think it makes me feel? Hey, we got a guy that's not from California. He's from Utah. Up-and-coming player. That 2662 represents the USCF rating, but even still, I believe he's like 25-20, 25-30 FIDE. Not bad for 16. Grandmaster, of course. Here's a little bit about Caden. If I'm not mistaken, Caden was in a really interesting video a year or two ago. Some people put together. It was a really cool video, like a spy video, like a James Bond type thing, but with chess. Anyway, there's a little bit about Caden. Now, Sam Sevian. Now, here we go. 14 years old. Holy crow. Well, we got an East Coast boy. He's from Boston, Massachusetts. One of my favorite places. You know, living upstate New York, I spent a lot of time in the Cape Cod area and the northern coast of Massachusetts years ago. Here's a little about Sam. Another Grandmaster, of course. Conrad Holt, 21. Hey, we're getting some of the old young guys from Kansas. Those of you that aren't from the U.S., Kansas is right in the center of the United States, in the farm country belt, so to speak. And here's a little bit about Conrad, Grandmaster, of course. Young, very up-and-coming player. Well, he already is a top player, but he's certainly making strides lately. A little bit about him. And there you have it. That's the field for the U.S. Championship. One of the strongest fields ever in the U.S. Championship. Being played April 1st. Don't miss any of the action. Go to uschesschamps.com to watch the game live or see some archive videos of the games. Don't miss any of the action. It's going to be a great tournament. I can't wait. And it's even cooler being in the United States. I don't have the weird, strange time delay, so they actually play at a decent hour for me. So that will be exciting as well. So stay tuned for some games that I'm going to be covering. And I hope you enjoy the preview of the U.S. Championship 2015.